A very good evening to you and welcome to the desk here on Global Television. My name is Godwin Sunday. The Edo State Police Command has confirmed the death of 2 more persons, raising the death toll to 7 in the clash between cocoa farmers and suspected produce theft in Belemotun in Ovia, southwest local government area of the state. In a statement by the police public relations officer, Moses Yamu, it disclosed that 6 injured persons were receiving treatment at an undisclosed hospital, revising the earlier figure of 4 casualties reported earlier on. The violence reportedly began sometimes in the week and escalated also to various communities when sympathizers of the initial victims launched a counter-attack. A local source who spoke to media on conditions of anonymity revealed that the crisis started when an Ikale cocoa farmer engaged vigilantes to guard his farm, which had been frequently raided by suspected Ijo youths. Now, looking at all of this conversation and the general insecurity challenge in the country, helping us to make sense in this conversation is Honorable Charles, and he will be doing justice to this conversation, of course, from the human angle. You're welcome to the desk, Honorable.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. You've heard from the narrative so far and the general state of the country, but what do you make on security concerns in the country as it stands right now?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Good evening, Nigerians. The issue of both farmers, herders clash and this one is a cocoa farmers clash. I think that it is high time that federal government and state government should start giving protections to our farmers. Giving protection to farmers, because all the whole clash and problem our farmers are having is aimed at frustrating food production. It's aimed at frustrating our food production. Today, our food production has gone low. Benue State was known as a food producing
the food basket of the nation.
Basket of the nation.
Yeah.
But now go to Benue State, the insecurity between herders, farmers, Fulani and the rest of them, they have made farming work has gone down. Farming product has gone down. It's no longer like the way before. Food was you used to feel everywhere. Farm product everywhere in the country. That to make food to be cheap. Go to the north, go to Zamfara, go to Borno State, Maiduguri, Katsina State. Now, farmers are now afraid to go into farming work, into farming business, because of the insecurity involved. I think that it is high time federal government should start giving security to our farmers. If really want to have enough food in our country, if really want food prices to go down, there should be security to our farmers. It should mobilize starting from the local government level to state level and to federal government. Local government should mobilize. A few months ago, the Supreme Court gave a kind of jurisdiction to local government to stay on their own. But up to today, that law has not been implemented by our state governors and from the federal government. It's not been implemented because of state governors want to dominate everything. They don't want to allow the local government to be on their own. So if they will allow local government to be on their own, then local government is expected to give security to local government, to local farmers. The state government should also do their own, while federal government will also do their own. By so doing, this issue of having herders clash, farmers clash, whether cocoa clash, it will reduce. It will be subsided until the right thing is being done, until security is being beefed up in the farming areas. We'll keep having the story of clashes between herder farmers, clashes between Fulani herdsmen, and thereafter.
Honorable Charles Nachigo, prior to this time, we don't used to hear conversations of this magnitude, even from the southern part of Nigeria. where we hear that this particular, the numbers keep rising by the day. But looking at the figures that we have right now, 7 deaths that have been recorded so far in Edo State. Could this be an indirect attack even on the southern part of Nigeria?
Well, the truth remains that we're able to hear of this one that was recorded. There are other places where we are having a farmers clash and herders clash.
Because because just of recent we heard that of Delta State where kidnappers in Delta State and other part of the south. That's it's curiosity made me ask.
In my own village in Ebonyi State,
yeah,
there have been multiple herders clash in my own village, but not
unreported.
recorded.
Yeah, unreported. Yeah,
nobody heard about it. So this one is just of the few ones we're able to have knowledge of. What of other ones we don't have knowledge of? It happens every day, weekly, monthly basis, weekly basis. Herders will just go into farm and slaughter farmers. Slaughter farmers. There's even that happened in Ebonyi State just a few weeks ago, which I was told that security men, they are on top of the situation, that farmers were slaughtered in my village. So this is a recurrent issues from time to time, and up till now, federal government have not made up their mind to give solution to this farmers and herders clash. Federal government, they need to beef up security. If really they want food production to rise up in our country, if really they want food prices to go down, there must be beefing up of security to herders, to farmers, so that it will subside the issue of herders and farmers clash in our country, Nigeria.
Well, the spokesperson of the Nigerian police force in Edo State, the president of Moses Yamu, have come out to say that 16G has confirmed the incident of the happening even in Ovia local government areas, Ovia Southwestern local government area of Edo State. But Edo State is just one of the states that this is happening, like you rightly said. But right now, looking at it from Nigeria, how will you assess the security situation across the country, from the south to the north and down to other parts, east and west, and all geopolitical zones of the country?
Well, the issue of insecurity that have been happening in our country is something that is not something we can be able to say. When the APC government came on board during the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, one of the major promises he made, his campaign promise, was that he's going to give security. They're going to reduce security into barest minimum. For 8 years, the issue of insecurity increased beyond the way he made it during the time of Jonathan. In fact, there was more kidnappings. School children were kidnapped, a whole lot of kidnapping. What was happening during the time of PDP multiplied during the time of APC.
But APC stalwarts will disagree with you even on this stance, that they've been able to bolster the security situation of the country, and they've been able to ensure that there is adequate security. The security situation has improved radically even in the country. Most of them will argue even on this point. Don't you think so?
Nobody can doubt evidence. Nobody can doubt evidence. If we keep hearing the report of farmers herders clash, this is already one evidence to show that there is still insecurity problem in our country. If you still heard about Fulani herdsmen launching an attack in Benue, in Enugu State, in Meduguri, in Zamfara State, that means that security issue have not been handled, have not been settled. So if we keep hearing about so number of people were kidnapped, so number of children were kidnapped in school, that so villages were raised down by unknown gunmen, so that is evident to show you that the issue of this, security has not been tackled.
But it has been drastically reduced over.
No. It's not been reduced. To be honest with you, APC have not done anything. APC government have not done anything to handle this insecurity problem. One of the major promise of every government is to secure life and property. One of the major purpose of every government is to secure life and property. So once you have failed in securing life and property, that government becomes a failure. That government becomes a failure.
But even in Edo State, we don't get to hear this too often. I think this is just one of. So let's just say the government is doing it.
We are not hearing because we are not conversant with what is happening there.
So the government is doing its best to ensure that in terms of insecurity becomes a thing of the past.
It's okay. Let's just keep watching. But the truth is that now there is much insecurity problem going on in our land, Nigeria. Insecurity problem in every state. There's no any state in Nigeria that does not have insecurity problem. There's no any state that is free from insecurity. Killings every day. Every day, Nigeria has become a graveyard. Every day killings, and the worst part is that they will just hear that this will happen. We'll just lament. After lamenting, forget it. Hey, police to come and say we're on top of the situation. That's not the end of it. You know, we have leaders that knows how to blow grammar. They know how to speak grammar. We're on top of the situation. All the proprietors shall be brought to book. By the end of the day, you don't even see anyone. We're on top of the situation. Everyone will go to your normal business. Another one will happen. They still come back and repeat the same grammar. We're on top of the situation. Just go to your normal business on top of the situation. All the proprietors shall be brought. In fact, I've said to myself, anytime anything happen, we have for anything to happen. Death in anywhere, class in anywhere. I'll be like waiting for police to come and speak their normal grammar. I'll just waiting for them to come and blow their normal grammar.
You mastered the line.
I've mastered them. You have just mastered them. We're on top of the situation. Just go to your normal business. All the proprietors shall be brought to book. Once they blow that grammar, forget it. That's just the end of it. Once they blow this, their normal grammar.
But most of the proprietors are usually brought to book.
We are told that in Anambra State, one of the honorable that was murdered few weeks ago, that some of the people that are involved were arrested. Few days later, another report now came that they have escaped from police detention. That those people have been escaped. What happened? How can someone be under police detention and they will now say that the person has escaped? Who opened the door for the person to escape? Who opened the door? That is to tell you that the government knows what is happening. Government are fully involved. If they want to settle the issue of insecurity, they know what to do. They know how to handle it. But you know that our leaders are not yet ready. They are not yet ready. They are not ready. So once they are ready, they know what to do to handle it. They can tackle it head on. It will stop. It's not Abacha that said that any security that pass more than 24 hours, he said government hands is involved.
So invariably, if you want to assess the ruling party right now in terms of the security apparatus and the weight that they've thrown on security issue, you're saying right now it's not a pass mark.
To be honest with you, I don't see what APs have done since they came on board.
But we've seen Lagos State where the governor has consecutively provided kits for security operatives. We've seen in in other states, Ogun State. We've now traveled down to the north. Of course, even in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, is the person of Wike, who is serving under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is doing magnificently well in terms of security, even in the remotest part of at the Federal Capital Territory. Well, you are not. I think you don't share in that my opinion, because these are all APC governors, and they are doing magnificently well across their various states.
Well, on the side of FCT here, where I stays, I think that I will give, will I say, pass mark to Mr. Wike, because I remember when insecurity became a kind of recurrence or issue on weekly basis, on daily basis, both kidnapping, one chance, you know, it keep growing day by day. But Wike, being a kind of experienced leader, decided to tackle it head on. Now I can say that the level of insecurity we're experiencing has gone down in FCT here. In FCT, I don't know, is it because of here is a federal capital territory? So how I wish that the same thing will be replicated to other states.
But it has been replicated in Kogi State. We've seen a lot of security, beefing up of security in Kogi State. We've seen the same thing also happening in Niger State and also states, surrounding states within the federal capital, Nasarawa State to be precise again, to make reference to. We've seen the same thing happening, playing out also by extension to Ekiti and other surrounding states, even within the federal capital territory.
Can we not make mention of Kogi State and Niger State?
What do you mean by?
Can we not make mention of Kogi State and Niger State?
Are the states not?
Because we know the level of insecurity taking place in all these two states. In Niger State is very closer to FCT. We know the level of insecurity. In fact, there was a time in Niger State where farmers were told to pay money before they will access their farm. Both in Zamfara State, in Borno State, insecurity became daily reoccurrence.
But the police have come out to debunk that particular fact that it was not actually. It was an alleged, probably from the community, in order to get the government to come to their aid.
So what do you expect? What do you expect federal police to say?
But as it stands right now,
because once they accept it, that means that they are not active in their duty. Once they accept that this kind of thing is happening in this country, that means that they are not active. So the right thing for them to do is just to debunk it. Even when there's clash, they still come back and debunk it. Say, hey, something like that don't happen. So they find a way to cover it up, so that people will not say, so it have gotten to this level. So they find a way to cover it up. That is what they're trained for. That's why if 5 person die, they tell you it's 1 person that died. If 10 person died, they will reduce it. So that you don't know the accurate thing that is happening. So their duty is to protect, cover the informations. They bury informations. They bury realities. But now we don't ground know what is happening. So they cover it up so that people will not say, hey, so it has gotten to this level. They cover it up.
All right, Mr. Goldenachi, to a very large extent, what is happening in those states has been characterized to be a counter-attack by farmers. So in this particular case, are we going to go about blaming the government, that the government is not doing enough in terms of providing security? Right now, we're saying that this is not the government getting involved. Individuals also get involved in this particular act of vandalism and criminal activities. So let's not put all the blame in the government, even in Edo State. Or do you think at this point that if the government has put enough infrastructure, we would come to this level? Of course, human beings will always have conflict among themselves.
The truth is that they say, I don't mind, is a devil's workshop. Most of these clashes, most of this insecurity that's happening everywhere is lack of employment. No activity, no engagement. If people are engaged, you're working in one factory, you're working in one office or the other, where will you have time to go and start fighting with
on a counter-attack?
On the counter-attack. Because you are busy. But once you have nothing doing, that's why you have to go. In fact, based on the story I heard, that these people have to bring security, private security to protect them. That's
the case here, because
yes, they brought private security to individuals have resort to self-help. We are resort to self-help. That is failure of leadership. We are resort to self-help. We are the one employing security for ourselves. Employing security. I met someone yesterday that told me, say he's not security in the streets where he's living, that they are paying him money to secure. So we are now resort to self-help. We employ security by ourselves. Vigilantes everywhere. You hear about vigilantes everywhere. You go to Southwest. What do people call it? Amoteku.
Yeah.
Southeast Zone was disbanded. I believe Northern Old is also going on. So we have resorted to self-help. Where is government? In all these whole situations, where is government? So this is a failure of government. where human beings, where cities have resort to self-help. Farmers have resort to self-help. So if all these people that are causing news and causing trouble in the society, if they are gainfully employed, you have a work, shifting work, you're working in the morning, in the afternoon, in the night, you engage yourself to one thing or the other, there'll be no time for you to have any issue to go and challenge any farmer or the other. You'll be fully occupied.
All right, let me even interrupt you at this point. This particular counterattack, to a very large extent, took about 3 days, and it was going on back to back. I'm tempted to think along this path right now that the people were not being fair to security operative by not giving out information on what was going on ground to secure. Of course, security men are not magicians. They can't sit down and become psychopaths, begin to read people's mind and know what's going on in your locality. You have to report. There's a channel for communicating with the security agencies. But this channel was not explored for 3 days. Can we blame the security operatives even for this particular act of the community, even in Ovia local government, where the people did not report and engage the security? I think this is negligence on the part of the people. Don't you think so?
Well, the truth remains that even the citizens are also afraid
of reporting to law enforcement agencies.
Yes, because only you reporting. Do you know the process you go through for filing information, for giving security report to security men? At times you may be detained. At times interrogations. How do you come about this? So the fear of the process you go through will even make you to keep quiet, even when you have the information.
But we've seen the proactiveness of the Nigerian police force and other sister security agencies, even in Rivers State. We've seen them come out actively to show how effective and efficient that unit is. I will see them being proactive, even because I mentioned Rivers State because of even in Osun State last week. We saw the proactiveness of the Nigerian police force. And I'm saying that this should be tagged to the negligence on the part of the citizens for not reporting to the security agencies.
Most of the times, ordinary citizens are afraid of having close relationship with Nigerian police.
So how is this the fault of the Nigerian police?
The reason is because of how police have carried themselves. Have you not heard where somebody went to report a matter to police and police get the person detained? It happens in so many places in our country. There are so many situations where have information, you say, I don't want to go. If you go now, they will turn it against you. So a lot of issues. So security men need to come out plain and let people know that they are in for them. We are not threats to you. We are your brothers. We are your friends. Relate to us. Feel free to come around us. Come and talk to us. Don't be afraid. So once they come down low, people will have freedom to relate to them. But once they carry themselves high, in fact, today now, someone will see policemen on the streets. He will be on the run. Someone will have issues to go and report to police. If you don't have money to move your case, forget it.
But that's an allegation. We can't say that for sure.
I'm telling you.
We can't say that for sure in the Nigerian police that you need money to
move your case. A whole lot of things are happening.
Well, we can't say that. We can't say that for sure.
Police. Yeah. So police need to come down, say to citizens, we are for you. Come close to us. Don't be afraid of us.
And you're not tying this to negligence on the part of the citizens.
Just like I said, the reason we can say is not negligent to the citizens because of the way policemen, our security men carry themselves.
You are saying one person died, the second person followed, the third person followed, the fourth person followed, and we've got into the figure has risen to 7.
7, yeah.
And before the police could intervene, it has already gone more than 3 deaths.
We are ahead of 7. When we go closer to the place where this happened, it will be more than 7. I said, we're living in a country where our leaders have a way of bearing information. They cover it up. So we are hearing 7. But if you go to the main place where the thing happened, it's more than 7. So I think that our law enforcement agency should close rank with citizens. Open up, we are for you. Don't be afraid of us. If you have any valuable information that can lead to the apprehension of all these evil people, those people that are causing security in society, please come forward with it. Come forward with it. Your details will be protected. We have had in this country where somebody gave information. Later on, those people went and killed that person. In this country. Even in the southeast, it happens. In the southeast, where they are agitating for Biafra IPOB, it happens. They came back and killed those informants. So a whole lot of things happen that makes people to be on the hiding. You get information, you be on the hiding. Because will your name will it be protected? Secondly, with the law enforcement agency, would they not question you or detain you to drag you or to find out how you manage to come about this information? And start to see you as if you are one of them. So a whole lot of things that have made citizens to be on the hiding. Police security men should come out and relate to us. We the ordinary citizens. Relate to us as your brothers. Relate to us as your friends. So if you have any information, we can be able to call. Even the police numbers that have been given out, at times I tried one police number that was given out around my area. Up to now, the number could not connect.
Yeah, well, your area is one too many. You're just unfortunate in your area. I think the police in our area, the number is going through.
Okay,
maybe your own police people, maybe they stole their phone.
Maybe I'll have to relocate to your own side.
And perhaps. But then let's come back and create a balance even on this conversation. Now, the vigilante guards in the farm, which have been frequently raided, said Ijaw youth, that the details says that some Ijaw youth have been coming to raid that particular farm. And this is what led to the counter-attack from some of the vigilantes and what you have in that cocoa farm in Ikale. The old fighters started in Ikale. But looking at this whole scenario, Ijaw youth raiding a particular farm, even in Delta State. Now, this really calls, even in Edo State, I beg your pardon, this really calls for concern. At this point in time, I think that this should be like a false allegation, even though undisclosed sources have come to talk about this. But then I'm asking again, if we don't give out the right information at the right time, how can police work effectively to deliver their mandate, which is to protect the lives and properties, to secure the lives and properties of Nigeria? You've said Nigerians are afraid of going to meet the police because of AYZ reason. But this has become like a recurring thing and a common decimal factor in the Nigerian environment, where even if the police changed, Nigerians are still afraid to approach the police. But in this case, we are losing lives, not just in Edo State. We have other states too, like you've rightly mentioned, that this particular scenario is happening, but unreported. At this point, I'm curious, are we ready to fight insecurity if there is no marriage between the Nigerian police, security agencies, and the Nigerian citizens? Are we ready to fight insecurity in the country right now?
Well, the truth remains that everything starts and ends in the desk of government.
But this has nothing to do with the government.
It has nothing to do with government.
Okay.
Everything starts and ends on the desk of government. Government knows what to do. Even this information we are talking about, they have their own way. Police has their own way of getting their own information. They have their own mechanism of getting their own information. They are well trained. They are well trained. Is it not some other place you hear that police gave information at social place that there will be attack in social place? They get their own information. Police, they are living within us. They are not living from heaven. They are living within us. Which place was that? I was told that all these news came and pasted something on say they are coming to date. Don't be surprised. Even after the news will get to police, still. Don't be surprised. It's either they will tell you that we are not really equipped, or this, that there will be issues. So that I said that everything ends in the desk of government. They knows what to do to tackle insecurity. They knows what to do. They know what to do. In some places, some people can be placed, can be planted around some environment, receiving salary or payment from government, and say, please be informant to us. Be bringing information to us. That is cities working hand in hand with police agents, bringing information. So government knows how to handle it. They know how to get their own information. I've said it before. If they want to tackle insecurity, they knows what to do.
So let's take the government apart, because to a very large extent, by definition, we'll say that you are the government, I am the government, and so both of us are part of the government. So how can we marry that relationship? Because if there's no link, there's no nexus between the Nigerian police force and other security agencies and the citizens, if there's no marriage, if we don't meet at the common ground, I don't think that we'll be able to win the war against insecurity across all parts of the country. But first, I'm asking, not just in Edo State, take the conversation to Gombe, take this conversation to far Taraba, take this conversation to Maiduguri, and we get down to probably Sokoto, Taraba, Sokoto, and move down to also Jigawa. All of these petty clashes are all going on. And the same mindset a lot of Nigerians are holding sway to. The Nigerian police will not respond. Nigerian police will arrest you when you go to deliver. The Nigerian security agencies are not proactive. Nigerian police force excuse keep going on and on. But as it stands right now, I'm asking again, if we're not married, if we don't find a common ground to be together, can we win the war against insecurity? Let's leave the government apart and let's put ourselves as part of the government. If we don't marry these two organizations together, can we win the war against insecurity even in the country?
Well, the truth remains that two cannot work together except they agree. So if both parties will agree to marry together, to join forces together to tackle insecurity head on, I think there should be agreement, there should be cordial relationship between police and citizens, which I've said before. I say police should come down. Where they're sitting high above us. I'm telling you, where they're sitting high above us, making the citizens to be afraid of them. So if they can mellow down, calm down, relate to citizens, in their own level, then citizens will not have the boldness to relate to them. If I see you as my brother, I'll not be afraid of disclosing anything with you. But when I see you as enemy, I find it difficult to relate some vital information to you. So police should calm down. Calm down. At times, you'll see how some Nigerian police treat citizens. You'll be like, now, wow. They don't have, they treat us as if they don't have value for human life. Something they can use lower voice and talk to you, they will have to use harsh voice. So these are the things that make citizens to be afraid of them. Citizens running from those who were paid with our taxpayers' money to secure their life. But citizens are afraid of them, to relate to them, to approach them. So until they come down to relate to we, the ordinary citizens, there's no way we can marry together. There's no way we can come together to fight insecurity.
So by coming down, is this regional based? Because I don't think the man in the southeast will want to, if the police calm down for the man in different geopolitical zones, it's a welcome development. Or don't you think so?
That reminds me of what interview I granted somewhere before. There was a time when there was an issue in Zamfara State where the former governor, is that something Adlai Izazi or something like that, the former governor, ordered the citizens to bear arms to defend themselves. That should be 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He said cities should bear arms. So I was on a television station like this, and I said, the idea of regions policing is override. So it is time government should look into regional policing. How can you post somebody from Zamfara to Abia State that does not hear the language? That is where the major insecurity start from. You come to Igbo land and you're speaking Hausa. You come to Igbo land, some of our grandmothers in the village, they don't hear English. So how will they be able to communicate to you as a police officer? So how will you be able to communicate to them? You don't hear their language. So the issue of regional police should be looked into. This is a starting point in tackling insecurity in this country. This is a starting point. We should go back to regional policing. Every region should have their own police. Should have their own mechanism, should have their own way of securing their environment. Very, very important. Because this issue of federal police is no longer working, it's no longer workable. Posting people from the north, from the south, from the west to various regions. They don't understand their language. They don't even understand the terrains in that environment. First, you have to understand the terrain first. Have to understand the people's language so you can be able to communicate with the citizens. So you can be able to discharge your duties effectively. Know the terrain where you're posted. Understand their language. Very, very important. If not,
you don't think this will pitch us along ethnic and regional lines?
Right from time I've been among those saying that Nigeria should return back to regional system of government. Right from time.
But if it worked, if it worked for us, we won't move to federal system.
Federal system
we'll move to a more elaborate system.
We'll move from regional system to federal system.
Yeah.
So federal system is not working. It's no longer workable.
You know where
yeah. When they will ask you now, you don't say you're in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You first of all say you're from Akwa Ibom, or you say you're from Borno State. Nobody put Nigeria into consideration.
But you know that it was due to the failure of the Richard Constitution that introduced regionalism in 1946, moved to the Macpherson Constitution, and moved down to Littleton Constitution and to the Independent Constitution due to the failure of the regional government. To a very large extent, that's why it was abolished, and we have to look for something that can accommodate Nigerians. And right now, this is where we are as a people. So if you're recommending regional police, you don't think that you're towing us back to regional lines?
It didn't work in the past years because of the development. There has not been more development. Now, things have developed. We have come to understand ourselves more better than before. We have come to understand ourselves. People in the Igbo land will tell you, say, they are not Nigerian, they are Biafrans. Go to Yoruba, they tell that they are what do you call it, Oduduwa. Go to North. So you see that
the Arewa in the North.
Arewa, yeah, you see that Nigeria has been divided into ethnic groups, regional groups. So I think it's high time for things to work out. That's why even all these regions, many of them knows those who are perpetrating evil in their region. They don't want to bring them out because they feel that they are fighting for their own common good. They feel that they are fighting for their own good
at the detriment of their own citizens, at their own indigents.
Yes. So they will not want to mention their name. They don't want to disclose them to security agent. So they feel that this federal system is not workable for them. It's not yielding fruit for them. So therefore, in fact, even without us going to regional government, a lot of regions have already moved.
Without telling us.
Without telling us. you see it in their way of life. You see it in their language. You see it in their behavior, in their attitude. Everything they do, they are doing, they have been showing it. There's a go to social media, they say, I'm a Biafra. You don't say, they do that. So you see that they have moved, even without federal government approving it. Some people have moved. There's already division in the country.
And so let's use allegedly moved. They've allegedly moved because we're on air, so we need to put things in perspective. At least people think that people are actually moved without informing the government. So that's an alleged move that Mr. Gold Nachi Charles has been talking about. But let's even bring this conversation again and look at it holistically as a people right now. Happening in Edo State, a lot of Nigerians will say that this is an Edo State issues, and it doesn't concern me because I'm from Abia State, I'm from Zamfara, I'm from Taraba. So this issue doesn't concern me to a very large extent. So I want to ask at this point, if an issue of this magnitude happens and a lot of people will be laid back, does life matter in Nigeria as it stands right now?
Well, the issue remains that our leaders don't have value for human life.
You keep going back to the leaders, but then...
As everything starts from the table, from the desk of our leaders. Why are they there in the first place? What was their campaign manifesto? I want to handle insecurity. I want to make dollar to become 1 naira in a Nigerian currency. I want to provide security. I want to give you shelter. Food will be surplus everywhere. So the main promises that prepare the citizens to vote for them. But once they enter there, they forget. So that's why I said everything starts from them. You were in government, you are voted to provide all these social amenities, security, to deal with it. So once you get there and you forget, so everything, all the blame will still come back to you. So you as a leader, it is your duty to accept responsibility.
Well, I'm asking this question because a lot of people all over the world are watching right now, and they want to put this issue in perspective. The level of insecurity in Nigeria, and of course they want to find out, do Nigerian government really take the life of its citizens very keenly and important and value the life of every citizen?
Our life is not valued. I'm telling you, our human life is not valued. That is why you see that our leaders value their own life more than you, more than we, the other citizens. When a political leader is coming to this place, any environment, what the level of security that to follow him? What's the level of security? In fact, I was somewhere in one part of Abuja here, where political leader was passing. I saw all the whole cars were smart just for one person to pass, for one political leader to pass. Security men have to, once you're on the road, they will deal with you mercilessly to make sure that one person will pass. That to tell that the life of that one person is more valuable than thousands of ordinary citizens on the road. And they forget that it was these other citizens on the road that stood under the rain to vote for them. So once they gain access to power, forget it. To your tent, all Israel. Once I've achieved it, to your tent. Even if you are dying, it's not their business. Even if you're hungry. No, during the past government, we are told of a senator that said that Abuja is not meant for everybody. That when people complain that the growing high rate of house rent here the cost of living has gone high, and the senator was able to say that Abuja is not meant for everybody. FCT is not meant for everybody. That you can relocate to your village. It's not meant for everybody. So that means that there are some places that are made for some certain group of people. So when it comes to asking if they have value for us, they don't. Because if they have value for us, they know what to do. A leader is supposed to be our chief servant. Your duty is to serve the citizens, not to impose yourself on the citizens. Is to be our chief servant, serving us. And At times, you should even allow the citizen to pass before you pass. Allow the citizen to eat before you eat. So make some things available. Let them know that you care. So that next time if you come back for election, to start for another election, citizens will be able to say, for sure, I saw the quality in you. You are humble. You are dedicated to this cause. Therefore, I am going to cast my vote for you, for your rerun, for your re-elected, for you to be re-elected into that government office. But because our life is not mattered, in fact, they even tell you that they don't even need your vote to win election. They don't need your vote.
Well, Charles Nachi, on a final note, before I let you go, as a people, where do we go from here?
Well, the truth is, everybody has run back to God. I'm telling you, we are living life as if there's no government. That's why people have a kind of decided to have their own personal security, provide their own electricity. In some places, some cities got through money, tie the road, do everything as if there's no government. So we have resorted to self-defense. Everything we provide by ourselves. And that is not the way it's supposed to be. So how do we go from here? We have to control the same way of defending ourselves.
We need to continue that way.
That's just it. We have to continue. Because if you don't do it, you're on your own. So you have to continue. Find solution by yourself. Generate electricity for yourself. Just let God give us the grace. Let God give us the grace. Make us